The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Would you come if I asked you to ride with me on this one-way road that leads? Well, I don't know, but I will take you anywhere you see. I know what you need, and what you got is exactly what I
Welcome to Counterflow. I'm James Deacon.
I'm Alan.
And we're alone today because Pacho has pulled the Pacho on us.
He said he's coding today.
He's coding like it came as a surprise. I'm coding. It's like, it's your birthday. You know when it's your birthday, you know when you're coding, right? Anyway, for a guy who's so fast and builds fast cars, he's always late. Anyway, we're allowed to give him grief because he's not here. That's really...
he can't retaliate.
He can't. And that's like punishment for the guy. All right, welcome to the show. It's all about cars, of course. If you've just tuned in by accident, this is your staple diet of anything on wheels. If it's on the road, we like to say we put it on the air. That's what we've been doing for...
This is over a year already, if I'm not
but the
mistaken.
podcast's a year, but we've been doing Counterflow as a talk show
For
since
5 years?
2005.
2005?
Yeah.
That long already?
That long. That's been going since 2005, and now it's eventually became a podcast in October of last year.
Wow, you still remember the date?
I still remember it because, I just checked the Facebook page, and that's when we uploaded it. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess the first topic would be, not that it's kind of redundant, but F1 last night.
Okay.
You didn't watch
Actually,
it?
I was supposed to watch, and then when I checked the Facebook status of my friends, just like your Facebook status. So I decided not to anymore because I knew the outcome. It's going to be Seb again. So, well, what's the reason to watch? No,
especially, when Weber qualified pole, I figured, okay, let's just invest in the race because I want to see him win one race, right? But F1's turned.
He never won this year.
No,
not
nothing.
a single race. Okay,
not one. But he's
one.
had a horrendous amount of mechanical failures.
Okay,
unbelievable amount.
Too bad.
So F1's now become F-yawn.
And there's still 2 more races to go, if I'm not mistaken.
There's 2 more races to go. I really don't know how they're going to pull in crowds now, especially live ones. But that's
now that the championship has been decided.
Both championships were decided last in India. So now it's basically people who are really tuning in to either see Seb get beaten, or you've got the loyalists who want to see him break Michael's record.
That's right.
I think 13 Grand Prix.
Or at least there's something to look forward to, because how can you draw the crowd or the viewers to watch F1 if you know that it's been decided and there's still a couple of races to go, right?
Exactly. You see, unlike boxing where you have Floyd Mayweather dominating his weight class, etc., he still draws in the crowds because one, he's a master of hype, right?
He's really good at it.
Master hype guy. So gift of the gab, he does his own PR, he does his own hype stuff to really get the crowds in there. Number 2, you get people who tune in just to see Mayweather fail.
Yeah.
All right?
A lot of haters. And they tune in because they want to see him lose.
They just want to see him lose.
Which never happens.
Which never happens because Floyd cherry picks his fights. But what I'm getting at, the difference between boxing and F1, well, if you don't know that, you really shouldn't be tuned into this show, if I have to explain. But no, I guess the difference is, in boxing, you don't have equipment. You can't say the guy's got a better brand of gloves or a better brand of shoes. That's correct. It's skill against skill, and anything can happen. Whereas in F1, once you have such dominance from a team like that, it's hard to undo that kind of advantage. And this is what people, I think, have been getting very upset, Alan, about. Because there's a lot of discussion about Vettel and why is he such an unpopular champion. And I guess my take on the whole thing is that Seb anyone, and I say this with deep respect for Seb and Seb fans, but anyone can sail a ship in calm waters.
You're right.
And let's face it, really, with the exception of Brazil last year,
it's been really easy for the guy.
it's been really easy for the guy. I mean, I took my hat off to the guy in Brazil last year when he hit and he spun around in corner one when he almost took out Senna.
Okay.
And he spun. He was facing the other way, and that was a championship drive. He needed to finish somewhere like fifth or something like that. Alonso was on target to win the race already. He did a champion's drive there. But really, that's one race out of, what, 3 seasons? So here's what I'd like to see happen. We've been having these discussions online, on Facebook, etc. For Vettel, there's no doubt he's good. But is he great? The only way to determine whether he's great
You really can't say.
is he has to, because right now the only thing
You have to see him struggle first and pull it off if he can.
The only thing he's proven to us undoubtedly right now is he's faster than Webber. That's it. Because when you drive a Red Bull and it's that far ahead, we're talking, Alan, another 24 seconds ahead of the field.
But don't you think
again.
that the team is biased to Seb?
They are. They are,
right?
100%. But even then, with the bias and all, the gap is so large. Okay, it's so large. It's almost the conspiracy theory is that they're actually sabotaging Webber's car.
Yeah.
But there's a number of things, right? So what Vettel needs to do is he needs to protect now his legacy. Because the statistics will remain, that's true, but if you want to really protect your legacy and make sure that these are not hollow numbers, you need to go out and do it in someone else's car. Okay, Michael did it in 95. In 96, he moved to Ferrari. And Ferrari is Ferrari then is the equivalent of Williams today in terms of where they are. I mean, like if you were to jump into a Williams right now and do what Michael did in 5 years, you would get the same respect. And that's the difference between Vettel and Michael. Michael has won more races, has won more championships, has more records than Vettel, right?
Yeah.
So and he was more dominant at one point. He still holds the record for the most wins per season, which Seb can match us here.
But Seb is a newcomer in the sport, right? How many seasons?
How many seasons? But the thing is, had Michael stayed in Benetton, which was a glued together team, who's to say he wouldn't have won, 5 or 6 more championships? But the thing is, he chose to invest in a team and developing a team. So at the end, when he brought Ferrari around him, as much as it was really annoying to watch back then, how he was really the number one in the team. He put that team together. It's like, this is my team, my rules. And of course, he created everything to his own advantage. That's racing for you. You don't just need to win. You need to create a winning environment, which is what Michael did. Seb walked into a winning environment, and he walked in under Helmut Marko, and since then has just been sort of getting all of the goodies coming from the team. And people are arguing he hasn't created it.
And the thing is, he won't leave that team, and they won't let him leave the team.
Exactly.
Right?
Now, I'm sure he's as good as Horner says he is and all that. That's fine. But if he really wants to answer the question that most fans are asking,
then he has to
either do one of two things: jump out of the team and build another team. Like Williams is a perfect opportunity for you. Why don't you go to Williams, take Ross Brawn with you, who's leaving Mercedes next year. Take Ross Brawn, have a team where Ross Brawn buys the team and gives you shares in the team. It's like talking to Vettel on the other side of the camera.
But how long is the contract of Seb? Do we know?
I think they contracted already his 3 unborn kids already to that team.
Gosh.
I don't know, but the thing is, contracts are there to be broken, right?
You're right.
We've seen it happen before.
But how much? We're talking
Well,
about
exactly. But all right, run your contract then. But his contract, I don't know what it is, but it can be more than another 2 years or so.
Really?
Maybe
is that
3.
how it is in
Maybe
F1?
3. Maybe 3.
The longest is like 3 years for top drivers.
No, I think that they've tried. There was talk that Massa was signed up for 5 years.
Really?
But I think in this day,
Massa?
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
So we'll get to Massa in a second. But Vettel, if he just, let's say, if Ross, this is my ideal situation, right? Here, listen up, Seb. I'm going to help your career, okay? Listen to me. Focus. You can either do one thing: go to Williams and get Brawn with you. Brawn buys the team. You take ownership of the team with points, etc. So when you get part ownership of that team, maybe call it even 50-50. That's fine, right? Ross Brawn puts in the money. You put in the performance. You basically put in the performance and don't charge for it. Meaning, don't get a salary.
Right.
But it goes towards the ownership of the team. That way, you can call that team anything you want. Vettels, whatever, right? It's up to you.
Yeah.
Thing is, we want to see you create that. Or if you can't do that, why don't you invite Alonso into the team?
What's happening with Alonso? Is he gonna stay with Ferrari? He is, right?
Yes, I think he's going to stay with Ferrari next year, although there are still strong rumors about him going to McLaren.
Oh my
Again,
gosh.
yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
So what's gonna happen
Because
with the-
Santander are floating, and they're the ones who will dictate
Oh, okay.
where he goes. So I would like to see him stay in Ferrari, but
Same here.
I would just like to see him stay in Ferrari only because you don't want to leave a championship team like Ferrari without a
Right.
championship.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
and
course.
as much as we know that he deserved the championships in 2010, in 2012, and he just narrowly missed out, and for
I
most
know.
people, he's the unofficial champion. The thing is, you'd like to see him win in Ferrari, and let's face it, next year is probably their best bet.
I
Because
think so too.
it's almost back to square one.
Yeah.
Almost. All of that advantage that Red Bull has had is washed away now because you have a new chassis, a new engine, and it's wild card, right? So we don't know. So almost all the top teams have equal opportunity to win the championship next year.
Okay.
So maybe it might be Ferrari, might be Mercedes. My money's actually more on Mercedes. than would
Mercedes,
be-
yeah. It's been a while for the Mercedes team to dominate. They've been dominating for a while, then all of a sudden they just stopped when Sebastian came.
All right. So okay, that's that. Or yeah, just bring in a top driver and don't be afraid to race him. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're really that good, peg yourself against an Alonso. But no, he wants Ricciardo. He picked Ricciardo. He handpicked Ricciardo apparently for that race, and or for that seat. Sorry. Going back to Alonso, So you didn't watch the race, but
I didn't watch the race, but I saw that picture that you posted on Facebook when he was strapped to.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I
It was a
know.
lot worse than I actually thought it was because when you watch, we're talking about the incident where he had come out of the pits. It was his last pit stop, lap 45, something like that. And
This was his second pit stop, right?
it was his final stop. And he came out, and Jean-Eric Vergne, who was racing, absolutely racing, took his normal line, didn't see Alonso, and he came in, and wow, those two were headed for a spectacular crash.
Yeah.
In fact, Jean-Eric Vergne praised Alonso afterwards and said he praised him for his reflexes, for avoiding the accident.
Quick thinking,
Quick
in a
thinking.
sense,
And great driving, quick thinking, everything, and said he shouldn't get a penalty because he was under investigation because he had left the track and gained the advantage afterwards. But he left the track
Because there was nowhere to go already.
nowhere
Right?
to go except into Vergne.
Yep.
And to just create a horrific accident. And he didn't do that, so he actually ended up hitting the curbing. And it didn't look spectacular from where we were watching it from, but yes, he ended up with lots of possible spinal and
I'm pretty sure
back-
because, James, you've driven an F1 car. And can you imagine you're so close to the ground and seeing that F1 car jump? I'm pretty sure that hurts a lot, right?
It does. I mean, like, you don't even need to drive an F1 car. You need to just drive a cart.
Cart, yeah, that's right.
Drive a cart and, hit something in the cart head on and
Yeah.
you're okay.
Yeah.
Hit another cart head on and you're still okay.
Okay.
For some reason, that's just a cart. But I tell you what, drop a cart from this high, just from this high,
Yeah,
and sit
that
in your cart
hurts.
while it drops. Bang!
Ouch.
The
Yeah.
feeling. And I would imagine the impact that he had. Cars are not, somebody asked on Facebook about, well, I thought the cars were designed for so much more, to take so much more impact. Yes, they are, but the thing is, they're designed in a different way. They're designed to hit other
Front,
cars.
yeah, front,
side,
yeah, side,
rear.
But not really going up and
Not
down.
going up.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody really designs,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, unless you're Grosjean, they don't really expect, you to be sort of having
What's your
accidents.
assessment with Grosjean this
Oh,
year?
he's
doing
good.
okay.
He's
see?
doing well now. He's doing
We've always laughed about that guy, but he's got
no,
potential. Now we know that he's got
now
potential.
we know. Now he's calmed himself down. He wait, back to Alonso first. So
Yeah.
hitting that thing like that the cars are not designed to do that. And when you have no suspension in a car,
Yeah.
essentially, I mean the suspension is the plate
Plus,
so little.
plus I haven't seen the seats of an F1 car. Is it stiff really
Very.
stiff?
It's made from carbon and it's molded around you. So there's no
There's just no space to move.
and there's no cushioning.
Ouch.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So you literally, when you hit the ground, bang, you become the shock absorber.
I know.
And because there's nothing, there's no give. An F1 car is so rigid. It's so with no suspension components. Except of course it has suspension, but there's no give in the suspension.
You're right.
So you become
Ouch.
the human shock absorber, and that energy has got to go somewhere. And he hit that at probably I don't know what speeds, but
that was
hitting curbing. I don't know if you ever sort of run over in your bicycle, running over a
Just a
rock
small hump.
or a hump, that you don't see.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes through your body, and that's
You're
what happened
right.
to Alonso. So, I think,
Thank God he's been cleared, right?
yeah, because that really. And here's the thing: lap 45 that happened. He manages to have an accident which is about so much worse than we've seen.
Yep.
Because we've seen horrific impacts there, and guys walk out completely cool, right? So basically, after that, with Alonso, he did that lap 45. He still finished the race,
I
and
know.
he still beat his teammate who outqualified him.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
After getting to an accident like that, you still finish the race. How? Why? Why? What's the reason for you to finish that race if you're badly injured already? Maybe he just wants to.
I think when you're a racer, you're a racer. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
Mark Webber's
Just never give up.
He's raced
attitude.
with vomiting in his own helmet.
Who's this?
Weber. He had
Really?
food poisoning in Japan, and
gosh.
not this year, before, and he vomited into his helmet.
Was that documented? Like you can see it on TV. They won't show it, right?
I don't think they want to show it.
But I'm pretty sure
So gross. I mean, you're like,
a lot of cameras are covering the cars, right?
yeah. I mean, you're like, oh, I mean, that's so gross. But yeah, he threw up in the car once in his helmet.
Oh my gosh!
Some people.
What did he say? Did he?
Scott Speed had.
Did he say about that experience? What he did when he vomited? Did he try to?
He has explained it in interviews. He has said that he said something about it, but I just can't read into it because it's so disgusting. And another one is Scott Speed, the racer, the American. He had no control over his bowels. No, I'm serious. Up to now,
No way.
it's a condition
Who is this?
he suffers from.
Who?
Scott Speed.
Oh my
He raced with Toro Rosso.
I remember, James, when Fernando Alonso was here a few years ago. I remember you covering Fernando Alonso, and he guessed it on RT. And then I remember Joe Schmo asking him a personal question live on air. Did you ever piss on your pants while racing? And he said, no.
You know what?
Never.
I bet they do. You just have to when you're doing a 2-hour.
But
Grand
how
Prix.
can you piss? You're traveling at high speeds. I don't know if you'll be able to do it.
There's plenty
That
of places. There's places where you can sort of relax a little bit. If you're racing and then you hit a long straight.
Plus,
There
you're
you go.
dehydrated inside. I don't know if you'll be able to.
But the thing is,
that's gross, James.
they're not going to do a pit stop for that.
I know.
So guaranteed,
Yeah.
it's happened. Whether it's happened to Alonso,
Don't they take
don't know.
like tabs before they
no.
go racing?
just-
Because that's like a couple of hours of no.
Yeah,
And they drink a lot, too,
They
because
drink a
of the-
lot, but
because of the
basically,
heat.
they drink a lot, and then they try and go to the bathroom before that, and then they drink during the race. It's gotta have happened. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm pretty sure. It's just that he didn't
oh,
want to
and
admit
Kimi
it.
was out in turn 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was out of the race. He got given a penalty for some technical infringement, and he was forced to the back of the grid. And so, starting at the back of the grid,
He became really aggressive.
Well, not really. I think just there's more things that happen at the back of the grid than there are in
Right.
front. So who was it? One of the Marussias or something like that. It was an awkward angle he got hit. Once again,
Oh, he got hit.
he got hit.
Okay.
Not a very big hit. It was one of those awkward angles again where he just said, yeah, you normally take a hit 10 times harder than that and carry on.
God,
but then
yeah.
just the way it hit, no more steering, and he just had to park the car.
okay.
And
Too
then he
bad.
parked the car, got interviewed, mumbled, like incredibly mumbled through the
Why is that?
because he's Kimi.
Okay.
It was really a
Yeah,
particularly.
so sometimes I have a hard time.
Oh, everyone
I
has
always have a hard time.
I mean, sometimes I think he does it on purpose. He just,
I know.
He really teases the media. But he jumped out of the car, walked to the paddock. By lap 8 or 9,
Yeah.
the cameras caught him in the parking lot in his rental.
Really?
Jumped in an SUV and drove himself out of the track.
Oh,
I
okay.
couldn't even be bothered with the hell. I couldn't give a stuff about you guys. Now, Kimi, though, that's a lot of whatchamacallits, dramas there. He hasn't been paid a cent since
Why is that?
because they don't have money. So Lotus is effectively bordering on bankruptcy, but then they got this last minute deal. And if they didn't get that last minute deal,
They won't be able to pay.
they won't be able to pay. Now, not just Kimi, but also the other staff, engineers and stuff like that,
gosh.
mechanics. So Kimi has threatened to boycott the last 2 races. Wow. And it's a highly controversial thing because
But Lotus is still going to be in F1 next year, right?
Lotus will be in F1 next year for sure.
And still the same drivers.
No, not anymore because they're losing Kimi, right?
Kimi, yeah, okay.
Kimi's going back to Ferrari. So they looks like
Kimi
they-
and Alonso,
Here's what the deal is. They want Hulkenberg.
Okay.
They have penciled a deal with Hulkenberg, but it depends on the money.
Yeah, it depends.
If they
Come
don't
in.
get the money, they get Maldonado. Because Maldonado comes in with 30 million bucks.
Wow.
So that is pretty hardcore. So anyway, we would like to see, obviously, Hulkenberg in that car.
Yeah.
I think Hulkenberg and Grosjean would make a good pairing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be pretty good. Grosjean's been doing exceptionally well.
Yep.
Exceptionally well this year. Towards the latter part this year, he's starting to put some serious pressure on
And
Kimi,
maybe
but then
next year it'll be
I
better.
think by
I'm pretty
next
sure
year-
he'll be better.
next year he'll be good,
Yeah.
really good. I think he's gone.
He's got the
through,
potential. He's a daredevil. It's just how to
Yeah.
control it, right?
And with Grosjean, he was really quick in qualifying. Always
Yeah.
would usually out qualify
Always?
Kimi. Yeah, he's blisteringly fast. Problem is he had this lack of spatial awareness that we were all talking about. So he would get into accidents, and then this affected his confidence so much that they told him to throttle back and hold back, and then he was slow.
Okay.
So it was, and now he's finding that groove between he's finding his speed again, and then he's finding the
control.
the control and the spatial awareness. And remember what happened in India about the radio message? Where did you get that when he told him, "Get out of my effing way, Kimi, get out of the effing way," and don't have to effing swear, and don't effing shout, or whatever. All right, so yeah, F1, so much going on still. In F1, we're all looking forward to next season, of course, because this season, unless you're in it to just watch the statistics or just to watch Vettel fail, there's really not much more point. There is a battle for second place, though. I mean,
Second place, who's battling for second
constructors and also in. Although it looks like Alonso's pretty much stitched it up, the Mercedes are quicker, and they're actually.
Just don't mind Seb.
And Kimi. If Kimi doesn't race for the next 2 races, then basically I think he'll be overtaken already.
Yeah.
What else is there? All right, so just slightly off because we only have like 3 or 4 minutes left.
Any news about the VS Cup? It's moved, right?
It's moved.
There is a
somewhere
date
around
already.
January 17 or January 20.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's far from now. What a sad way to, because of the typhoon, we had to postpone it.
Yeah.
All right, so just to wrap it up, outside of F1, I tried the new 5008 Peugeot.
Yep. Really, really good car.
Lovely car. Really nice diesel engine. Beautiful diesel engine. I'm trying to think if there's anything I didn't really like. No, it's pretty well equipped.
Do you like the display?
I love the display.
I love the display.
I love the moon roof, although it doesn't open, but it's a full glass sky roof.
You're right.
I love the
Plus,
engine.
it's thrifty, right?
It's very thrifty.
Yeah.
Very, very thrifty. I love the engine. I love the gearbox.
Very comfortable car.
Which
Huge
it has
space.
start-stop. Yeah, there's no space in the luggage. Yeah.
Really?
If you have 3 rows, you
okay.
can't even put in you can't fit a case of beer in there.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you just can't. Literally, I tried.
Yep.
I tried putting a case of beer and it just sticks out about that much.
Okay.
But
you have to-
that's with the 3rd row up. But aside from that, very, very, very nice car. Next week we'll probably talk about this more at length. We did bring this up on the show, but I had asked Attorney Rod, and this article is coming out on Wednesday, about licenses. People who take your licenses without the authority to take your licenses, security guards, and the MAPSA. Actually, even the guys on the tollways.
They just give you a ticket, right? They can't get your...
They cannot. They cannot.
It happened to you, James?
No. Because we talked to Attorney Rod, who's our legal counsel on the show, and then he wrote an article. So I got some of that because he's citing Republic Act 4136 or something like that, which basically says that no city council, much less a village association, can do anything that basically they cannot touch you, they cannot take your license. So look out for that article. It'll come out on Wednesday in the Star, and we'll probably talk about it more next week.
That's this Wednesday, right?
Yeah, this Wednesday in the motoring section of the Star. I'll also put it up online as well because I would like, it's something that's really, really affects us all.
Yep.
Anyway, I think we pretty much run out of time and once again hit our own checkered flag.
That was quick.
That was pretty good. Why, if we start talking about F1,
I know.
And considering this is a boring season, imagine what it's like when it's an exciting one.
Yeah.
All right, so till next week, James Deacon, drive safely.
Bye.